Loneliness is one of the most dangerous feelings a human can experience. It doesn't scream or shout. It whispers. It whispers to you late at night when the world is silent and your heart feels empty. It reminds you of the people who once made you feel something, even if that something was pain. And in those moments of weakness, you start thinking about going back to what you walked away from, back to the people, the habits, and the environments that broke you. But hear me clearly, don't let loneliness send you back to what broke you. You didn't leave that situation because it was easy. You left because it was killing your spirit. You left because you realized your peace, your growth, and your future were more important than temporary comfort. But when loneliness hits, it tries to trick your mind into believing that broken love is better than no love, that familiar pain is safer than unknown peace. It's not. The past didn't break you by accident. It broke you because it couldn't hold the person you were becoming. Sometimes loneliness is not punishment, it's protection. It's life's way of giving you space to heal, to rediscover yourself, to rebuild your strength. You see, growth requires separation. The cocoon must close before the butterfly can fly. The seed must be buried before it can bloom. And you must learn to be alone before you can be truly free. Don't confuse loneliness with emptiness. You're not empty, you're evolving. You're not missing out, you're moving forward. The silence you feel right now, that's not your enemy. That's your transformation space. It's where God, life, or the universe, whatever you believe in, starts working behind the scenes. It's where the next version of you begins to form. When you go back to what broke you, you restart the same cycle of pain, the same lies, the same disappointment, the same regret. You already know how that story ends. So don't rewrite an old chapter when your new one is waiting to begin. You've already survived too much to return to the place that made you question your worth. Yes, loneliness can hurt deeply, but it can also teach you. It teaches you how to stand on your own, how to love yourself without needing validation, how to enjoy your own company, and how to protect your peace like it's your most valuable treasure. Because it is. The more comfortable you become with your own solitude, the harder it becomes for toxic people to have power over you again. Think about it. You can't build your future while staring at the ruins of your past. You can't walk forward while looking back. The people who left were part of your story, not your destination. So stop reopening doors that God already locked. Stop calling back the people you prayed to be free from. And stop believing that loneliness means you made the wrong choice. It means you're being prepared for the right one. This is your healing season. It's your rebuilding phase. Use this time to grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded in who you are. Surround yourself with positivity. Read, learn, exercise, pray, meditate. Do whatever helps you rise. Fill your life with purpose, not people who drain it. Because when you start loving yourself deeply, loneliness no longer feels like a prison. It feels like peace. One day, you'll look back and realize that the loneliness you feared was the reason you became powerful. You'll thank yourself for not going back, for staying strong when everything inside you wanted comfort, for choosing growth over familiarity. Because peace after pain is a victory no one can take away. So remember, don't let loneliness send you back to what broke you. Stay patient. Stay strong. The right people, the right opportunities, the right love, they will find you. But only if you stay in the light long enough to receive them. Don't go back to the darkness you escaped from just because you miss the feeling of company. You deserve more than what broke you. You deserve what heals you. Self-love and inner peace are not luxuries. They are survival tools. In a world that constantly tells you that you are not enough unless you have someone beside you, unless you have validation, attention, or approval, it takes true courage to stand alone and still feel complete. Loneliness can make you question your worth, make you crave connections that no longer serve you, and make you want to run back to people or places that broke you. But when you begin to cultivate self-love and inner peace, loneliness loses its power. You no longer chase what hurts you. You begin to attract what heals you. Self-love is not arrogance or ego. It's the simple act of accepting yourself without conditions. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I am enough, even when no one tells me I am. It's understanding that your value does not depend on who chooses you or who walks away. When you truly love yourself, you stop settling for less than you deserve, because you realize that your peace, your growth, and your happiness are too valuable to be exchanged for temporary attention. Inner peace, on the other hand, is what keeps you grounded when loneliness tries to shake you. It's the quiet strength that whispers, I am okay, even when I am alone. It's not about having a perfect life or a perfect mind. It's about being able to sit in silence with yourself without feeling empty. When you find peace within, external chaos no longer controls you. You no longer need someone else to make you feel complete, because you've already built that completeness within yourself. So many people go back to what broke them because they confuse loneliness with emptiness. They think being alone means something is missing. But sometimes being alone means you're finally becoming whole. Loneliness is not a void that needs to be filled by another person. It's a signal that you need to reconnect with yourself. It's life's way of saying, come home to you. You may not see it now, but the moments of silence and solitude you're living through are shaping the strongest version of you. They are giving you the space to heal, to reflect, and to realign your path toward peace and purpose. When you love yourself, you stop seeking validation from broken places. You no longer crave the kind of love that hurts more than it heals. You no longer wait for someone to make you feel worthy because you already know your worth. That's when real freedom begins. You become unshakable because your happiness is no longer tied to other people's behavior or approval. You begin to find joy in small things, a quiet morning, a deep breath, a moment of gratitude. That's inner peace. It's the calm that doesn't depend on your circumstances, but on your mindset. Self-love also teaches you boundaries. It teaches you that saying no is not selfish. It's necessary. It reminds you that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't keep giving your energy to people who only take. You can't heal in the same place that broke you. Every time you choose yourself, every time you protect your peace, you are honoring your growth. You're sending a message to the world that your mental and emotional health matter more than any temporary connection. Inner peace doesn't mean you'll never feel lonely again. It means when loneliness comes, it won't destroy you. You'll acknowledge it, feel it, and still stand strong. You'll know that solitude is not the enemy. It's the place where you meet your true self. When you find that kind of peace, even your loneliness becomes sacred because it pushes you closer to your purpose. You begin to see that the right people, the right love, and the right opportunities will only find you when you're at peace with yourself. Because peace attracts peace, love attracts love, and healing attracts healing. The universe, or whatever you believe in, responds to the energy you carry. If you carry self-love, you attract people who see your worth. If you carry inner peace, you attract situations that align with your calm. That's why it's so important to protect your energy like it's your life, because it is. You must learn to be your own safe place, to be able to sit alone and still feel at home within yourself, to trust that even in moments of silence, you are growing. The people who broke you were part of your past, but your healing is your future. Don't let loneliness make you forget how far you've come. Don't let it trick you into thinking you need to go backward to feel something again. What you need is not out there. It's within you. So take this time to fall in love with yourself. Learn who you are without distractions, without noise, without other people's opinions. Learn to enjoy your own company, to celebrate your own progress, and to be grateful for your own journey. Because when you truly love yourself and find peace within, loneliness no longer feels like a burden. It feels like freedom. You'll no longer chase love to fill a void. You'll give love because your heart is already full. Remember this, the real antidote to loneliness is not another person. It's self-love and inner peace. It's the strength to sit alone without feeling alone. It's the courage to let go of what broke you and the faith to trust that better days are ahead. When you find peace within yourself, you don't just survive loneliness, you transcend it. Never return to what hurt you for temporary comfort. It's a truth that sounds simple, yet it's one of the hardest lessons to truly live by. When you're in pain, when your heart aches with loneliness, and when your mind feels restless in silence, there's a part of you that longs for something familiar. Even if that familiarity once caused you deep pain. You think about the people who once made you smile, the places that once gave you comfort, or the habits that once distracted you from your sadness. But here's what you must remember. What broke you before will break you again. The same fire that burned you once doesn't suddenly become safe to touch. When you walk away from something painful, you do it for a reason. You left because it was destroying your peace, because it made you feel small, because it stole your energy and silenced your joy. But loneliness is tricky. It has a way of distorting your memory. It doesn't remind you of the tears, the disappointment, or the sleepless nights. Instead, it shows you the highlights, the good moments, the brief happiness that kept you holding on for too long. And if you're not careful, that illusion can pull you back into the same cycle you fought so hard to escape. You have to understand that healing isn't a straight path. There will be days when you feel strong and free, and there will be nights when the weight of solitude feels unbearable. But pain is temporary, peace is permanent. Don't exchange your long-term healing for short-term relief. Every time you go back to what broke you, you reset your progress. You reopen wounds that were starting to close. You give power back to something that doesn't deserve it. The truth is, comfort isn't always safe. Just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it's good for you. Toxic relationships, unhealthy habits, and destructive environments often come with a sense of familiarity that tricks your brain into believing it's where you belong. But growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Growth happens when you choose discomfort over destruction. When you say, I'd rather be lonely for a while than broken forever. Loneliness might make you question your strength, but it's actually the test that proves it. It teaches you self-reliance, self-love, and patience. It forces you to confront yourself and understand what truly matters. Being alone is not the same as being unloved. In fact, learning to be alone is one of the most powerful forms of self-love there is. It means you no longer depend on external validation to feel whole. It means your happiness no longer depends on the attention of others, but on the peace within yourself. Every time you resist the urge to go back, you strengthen your spirit. You prove to yourself that your worth isn't defined by what you left behind. You remind yourself that you're capable of creating a life that doesn't require pain to feel alive. You begin to fill your own emptiness with purpose, not people. And with time, you'll notice that the loneliness that once felt unbearable begins to transform into freedom. There's beauty in not going back. There's power in saying, I choose myself. Because choosing yourself is not selfish. It's survival. You've been through enough to know what drains your energy and what destroys your peace. You've cried enough tears to recognize the patterns that no longer deserve another chance. You've already learned the lessons. Now it's time to apply them. The people or habits that hurt you might try to come back, especially when they sense your growth. But remember this, the past doesn't change, you do. You can't fix what refuses to heal. You can't rebuild what was never meant to stand. So, when those memories or people try to pull you back, remind yourself why you left. Write it down if you have to. Remind yourself of the pain, the confusion, the way it made you feel small. Then look at where you are now, stronger, wiser, and more aware. You made it out once. Don't let temporary emotions drag you back into permanent damage. Your peace is too valuable to trade for momentary comfort. Your future is too bright to waste on the shadows of your past. What broke you once doesn't deserve another chance to do it again. Stand firm in your decision to move forward, even if it's lonely, even if it's hard, even if it feels like no one understands. One day, you'll thank yourself for not returning. You'll thank yourself for staying strong when your heart wanted to give in. You'll thank yourself for choosing healing over history, because eventually that loneliness will fade. It will be replaced with purpose, clarity, and peace. You'll meet people who match your growth, not your pain. You'll build a life that feels like home, not a battlefield. And when you look back, you'll smile, not because it didn't hurt, but because you didn't go back to what hurt you. You chose yourself, and that choice will always be your greatest victory. Loneliness is not punishment, it's preparation. It's one of the hardest truths to accept when you're in the middle of it. When you're sitting in silence, feeling disconnected from everyone, it's easy to believe that something is wrong with you, that you're being punished, or that you're destined to be alone forever. But what if the loneliness you feel is not life abandoning you, but life preparing you? What if this season of solitude is not a curse, but a classroom? What if it's teaching you everything you need to know before the next chapter of your life begins? You see, loneliness has a way of stripping away distractions. It removes the noise, the people, and the patterns that once defined your sense of belonging. It forces you to confront the one person you've been running from: yourself. When there's no one else around to validate your worth, to fill your emptiness, or to distract you from your pain, you are left face to face with who you truly are. And that can be uncomfortable, even painful. But it's also powerful, because that's where transformation begins. So many people misunderstand loneliness. They think it's a punishment for not being lovable or for pushing people away. But in truth, loneliness is often a sign of growth. It's the space between who you used to be and who you are becoming. It's that uncomfortable gap where your old life no longer fits, but your new life hasn't fully formed yet. It's not a void, it's a transition. It's preparation for something greater, something deeper, something aligned with who you truly are. When you feel lonely, it's tempting to go back to toxic relationships, back to bad habits, back to environments that used to numb your pain. But the reason you left those things behind is because they were breaking you, not building you. They may have felt familiar, but they were never meant for your future. And if you go back to what broke you just because you're afraid of being alone, you'll end up losing the very progress you've made. Loneliness is life's way of teaching you self-reliance. It's where you learn to depend on your inner strength instead of external validation. It's where you discover that your peace cannot come from someone else's presence. It must come from within. And when you reach that point, when you can sit in your own company and feel content, you become unshakable. No one can take that away from you. In your loneliness, you start to see yourself clearly. You begin to recognize your patterns. Who you chase, what you tolerate, and why you settle. You begin to understand that not everyone who leaves you is a loss. Some people are removed because their energy no longer matches your purpose. Some doors are closed, not because you're unworthy, but because you're being redirected towards something far better. That's preparation. Think of loneliness as the soil in which strength, wisdom, and self-love grow. It's where you plant the seeds of independence and water them with patience. It's where you learn to enjoy your own company, to take yourself out, to dream bigger, and to rebuild without needing anyone to complete you. It's in this solitude that you start to create the kind of life that feels whole. Even when you're by yourself, every great transformation begins in isolation. The butterfly doesn't emerge in a crowd. It transforms alone in the cocoon. The seed doesn't sprout under watchful eyes.